It's the final competition of the YEEP-tech and Business Hackathon week. We will have two presentations of the competing teams. We will first also have some welcome speeches from Hawassa University, and at the end we have our jury here who will judge which idea wins, and we will have a short award ceremony. So first I think I give the word to Lejalem from IoT, is that correct?
It's just to announce the program. It's just to announce you the program. Of course, the registration is already held, and yeah, guests are already in place right now. Yeah, at 10:05. Dr. Tasfai will welcome Dr. Fasiga just to make an opening speech. Following that, Dr. Fasiga will give us an opening speech. Following Dr. Fasiga's speech, Mr. Stefan will have a message on how the overall YEEP program looks, and so that you will have an overview. Then the competition will follow from Mr. Stefan's message. Again, we do have a short play by Makres. We will wait. And reflections from Ethiopian and Swiss participants after the competition will be held. Following that, we may have an award ceremony. And then lastly, at 12:50 up to 1, there will be a closing and a group photograph outside the TBIC, in front of the TBIC. And this is the program that we have in short. Right now, Dr. Tasfai will come to the stage and will come, or directly, let's go to Dr. Fasigas. We're opening the speech.
Okay. Ay, karat madri. Thank you very much for everyone here. First, I want to make a formal address, especially for our guests, Mr. Steven, long-time leader of the YEEP projects and the venture member. He is our long-term partner for Hawassa University. And Mr. Samuel also is a member of the venture groups and YEEP project member at this time. Dear deans, directors, and also our judge, new judge, Miss Bethlehem, and Brooke from Ethiopia, and external judge, Miss Bethlehem, coming today from Addis. I think thank you for your commitment, and I will say also thank you, Mr. Samuel, for your judge, and also Brooke, our staff from electromechanical as judge, and all department heads, coordinators, and also our Swiss students from different schools. I want to say also last time I welcome you, and I will say also today for this event, welcome, and the students from Ethiopia also, a lot of students, and we have also female participants from Ethiopia, this time no female from Swiss. Anyway, welcome our female participant also from Ethiopia. I think next time we'll add more female participants also for the next competitions. All distinguished participants and ladies and gentlemen, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you all at this opening event this morning to YEEP-tech Hackathon week closing ceremony. organized by Ethiopian Suez Initiative by YEEP programs. As you have been one of issues Ethiopia is doing this time is trying to improve the higher education systems, because our higher education systems in last, I can say, last 10 years, we have been increased a lot of number of universities, but the universities have also challenged with quality of teaching, especially for engineering students. Having practical exposures, having practical classes is very important, but we have been challenged, lack of laboratories, full laboratories, updated laboratories, and others issues, and also exposure of the students to the different system, like today's event. We need to more focus. So one of the mission or the vision of our university is to be the research university in the coming years. So the 10 universities in Ethiopia, and one of the focus area, especially for the engineering students, having a good incubation centers. And with Swiss partners, especially in the YEEP programs, we have been working for a long period of times, I think around 10 years. We have been working to have good incubation centers. And also, ultimately, we plan to have upgrade these programs to accommodate the post-incubity to the Science Technology Park, so that we may have contribute some form of problem-solving issues and commercializing of ideas and creating of business ventures within a university, and also to have some way of contributing this in these areas to increase our teaching qualities. So the teaching qualities can be increased to have this type of exposures at the same time, and we'll have also hopefully in the futures we have some new ventures or new business will be merged in these incubation centers. We have planning to do that one. So after having said this one, we are going to, as Hawassa University is a comprehensive university. We have more than 113 a program of undergraduates, and we have also a master's program more than 140, and we have around 35 PhD programs, and IoT also we have 90 undergraduate programs, 8 postgraduate programs, 18, and also we have 5 PhD programs. So our institute are striving to give young engineering students with good skills and knowledge, so that they may respond to the market of our country, and also contribute the growth and transformation of the countries on the engineering and technology aspects. So in our vision of 2025, the universities have been planning to have the top 10 universities in Africa, and we are working on that one. And as the Institute of Technology, we are also planning, as you have been observed with our environments. We have good physical infrastructures. The laboratories are so beautiful. So we lack some advanced laboratory equipments, and we need to work on that one to on the process of buying of some good equipments or updated state-of-science equipment for all discipline of our engineering students and also technology students from computer science, so that the student will have good experience. So our collaborations with programs, with the venture, especially with the YEEP programs, will work again, more strengthen our partnership, especially to work more events like this one. And we plan to have in the next years more or less 3 events. We have one of the type like this one, hackathon events with technical exchange. We'll have also, again, like previous cases, we'll have the competition of ideas or business competitions. We plan to have at least next year, and we'll have also planning very soon, I think, entrepreneurship exchange programs, so that we have a general entrepreneurship exchange program. So in this type of events, we'll have given for our students a chance of knowing a new cultures, a new understanding from Swiss partners, university, and at least you can share some of idea, some of your understanding, some of your, I think, young ambitions, and so that your partnership also, I hope, will not stop now at this time. So your partnership, your colleague relationship will continue, and we'll do that one also in the futures. And also you'll be also part of the YEEP alumni, and so that you can support YEEP program also again in the futures, because YEEP have been around 6 programs like this one previously, and we have a lot of graduates, alumni, have been supported some financial seed monies to develop their ideas. And I hope next time we'll do the same also for other group of students also, so that you can also support our endeavors of practical educations, and also entrepreneurship issues, and also developing of ideas to commercializations. So I hope our partnership, we are happy with the partnership with Swiss groups, partners, especially with Stephen. He is working very hard, and we have good exposures in Swiss also last time to expose with a different company, with the different schools. So our partnership with those schools will continue, and also Swiss coming here will not be the end in the futures. We are planning also to send some of exchange students from Ethiopia to Swiss also to expose, even though the numbers will be increased time to time. In next time, we'll have planned to have sent one outstanding student to Swiss to do his internship in Swiss, and some of the exchange students also again will come to do their diploma thesis here in Ethiopia, with related to one of a problem area we identify, so that we can get a good experience. So this is what will be planning to conduct in the next years, in the next time. So our partnership can continue. So we have been fully committed for our partnership, and the university also, because of different events, even though they like to have participate on this event, the president also not here, and the vice president also have previously scheduled programs, so that they are not appear here. Anyway, I am just sending also their message that I want to say congratulate all participants of students to these programs, and I take the opportunity that all the staff of Dr. Tesfaye, especially Ato Temasgen, have been take a lot of commitment and make a lot of arrangement, so that it have been very fruitful time here, and his group and his crew also having a lot of dedication. Dr. Tesfaye also make good efforts for that also. I want to take opportunity to thank all of them for these dedications, and I hope it will continue, so that we'll have good fruitful time like this one, and good result like these robots after a long 5-6 days time of work on your this program of competition of establishment of the 3D printer shops. Yeah, so the idea we have been competing on next time what we see. So I want to say that all congratulations, and finally I take this opportunity to declare that official the opening of the closing ceremony of the Ethio-Swiss YEEP-tech Hackathon week. I wish all present a fruitful morning, and thank you very much. The floor is open. Thank you. Now sitting there. It is in the America.
It's your turn. I will do it after. I will do it after. We can make the presentation. So can we start? Can we start the presentation? Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Fasika, for these nice words and the introduction. I suggest we start now with the presentations. We are very curious what will be the results. I can tell you all the students have been working really hard, yesterday even during the night. Also this morning they were here very early to finish the last things. And we are very curious now to see what they actually developed. We have two teams. We have Team A and Team B. They will introduce themselves afterwards also with their name. I give now the floor to the first team to present their product.
All right. Hello, everybody. Salam. Salut zusammen. I would like to welcome you to our idea of the printing shop here at the campus, Hawassa 3D Printing. Today, we want to share with you our experience during the week, where we are today with our ideas, and what are our expectations for the futures. So the outline, we want to talk with you today about the assembly of the 3D printer by itself. Good? All right. Assembly of the 3D printer by itself, the mechanical part, as well as the construction of the enclosure, how you can see it right now here. Then we did a lot of work in the market research here at the campus, the business model we developed, the programming, including the Raspberry integration as well as the website, then our tutorials, and then I will come back with a short reflection. So, Moibon, would you come over here and tell something about the assembly?
Okay, thank you, Yule. Okay, we started our working with assembling, and first of all, we checked all the materials and properties authenticated on the manual. Then we started assembling with Y-axis. Then after assembling Y-axis, we're going to assemble. We assembled the bed plate or the bed holder. Then we assembled. Okay, we assembled the X-axis. Then after we assembled the Z-axis, which takes a lot of our times. After assembling the Z-axis, we assembled the LCD part and the electronics part. The Z-axis takes 4 hours, and the Y, X, and LCD part and the other parts together takes 5 hours. And then, as you see on the figure, the teamwork is the important and the crucial thing for assembling our printer. That's why we assembled early. Our group was organized and coordinated well, and it was so good at time management, and that's why we assembled earlier than the others. Thank you. Damon, can you say something about the construction?
Okay. For the enclosure, and the enclosure was a kind of teamwork with Group B. We want to be faster, that we have more time at the end for make 2
good working 3D printers for the Hawassa University, and because of the time save we were able to upgrade the existing 3D printer and do some maintenance on it, and now it's able to print multicolors. You can watch at this sheet, that was a test print of it. And yeah, back to the enclosure, we had some problems with the plexiglass. It was a bit too less material here, but we find a solution, as you can see on this enclosure, with the wooden sheets. And we also installed some gaskets that it's very quiet when the printer is operating. And we changed the direction of the fan because we want a printer which is working as long as possible. And the printer needs to be clean to work as long as possible. So we have an overpressure in the whole enclosure and a filter at the ventilator. So no dust is able to come inside the case to the enclosure and reach the printer. So the printer will be clean all the time and work correctly and precise. Weißt du noch?
Okay, I am going to talk to you about the market research. Of course, at first we had to find out what our customers want and what they need. So at first we worked together with Group B in order to work faster and get more results. So we made a questionnaire, and this we gave to the head offices of the departments we thought that have the most interest in our product, in the printing. And they distributed it to the teachers. And in the time the teachers were filling out the forms, we could ask a lot of students on the streets, in the campus. We asked the same questions from the questionnaire, and in the end we brought everything together. And then the analyzing of the data was done in the group separately. So I think the results will be pretty much different. You will see in the second presentation, but the questionnaire was the same. So actually, here you can see our target groups. We decided to focus on two main target groups. So as you can see, we have the mechanical engineering department and the electromechanical engineering department. For both, we work with the teachers and with the students. So the print shop is for both of the people. The marketing will be focused on these two departments, but of course it's also possible to print if you're from a different department. That's just our target group that we defined. So now here you can see the results from the market research. You can see about 65% of the people know what the 3D printer is. And only 5% of them have experience with it. So you can see there's a big potential there. We can work with that very good. Then we have an average payment they want to pay, which is 450 birr, which is, of course, that's difficult to categorize this number because every part uses the different type of material, the time is different, so that's a difficult number to work with. Also, we found out that in average they want to print twice a month, so that's also a really big number, I think, because there are a lot of students, of course. And also we ask what is the quality they want. Do they want either a low price or a high quality? And 60% answered that they want a high quality over a low price. So they are both people, so I think we have to work with both. Exactly. And then also we ask them what are their expectations from a 3D printer. What do they want if they want to print something? So a lot of them mentioned they want high quality. That's an important thing we also mentioned. So we did it by, now you can print in different qualities. So if you want low quality and low price, you can print low quality and low price. But because a lot of people want to print high quality, we obviously also have the possibility to print high quality. They want an accuracy and low weight. So luckily the 3D printed parts are low weight, so that's good. And a good surface finish, strength. And the one I like the most, a lot of the teachers said they want to make the learning process better. So that's the one I like the most. Okay, I'd like to give the word to Höhere. And he is going to talk to you about the business model, what we did with all these informations you just heard. Okay.
So throughout the weekend, we tried to develop a business models on the workshop. So the first thing we are going to see is what are our targeted customers, what are our targeted partners, as well so our key partners. The first thing to see here is who are our key partners. The first one is Vector Engineering, who is the supply of our filament for the production of the 3D printer parts. And the second is Perswa, which is the supplier of spare part for if there is a broken part, we order from the Perswa online and they deliver to us. And also Department of Different Studies, also our partners, like manufacturing faculties like electromechanical engineering and mechanical, also our key partners. And the last one is maintenance service giving companies are our customers. So the key activities we do to launch this business is just printing some samples for the event that has to be held within the campus, and also announcement using speakers throughout the whole campus. And also our key resources. Filament is a material resource that we need for the production process, as well the human resource, the operator for operating the machine, the 3D printer, and we need a stock in the store for reserve. Also, the value we offer, the first one is the online ordering process. It is as simple as, texting for your friend, because every format is displayed on the website, and you can order through our website. And also we prepare tutorial for CAD modeling by using Tinkercar and SolidWorks. Also we defining the printing parameters, and also we provide high quality products and cost effective, time effective, with affordable price, and it is easily accessible through the campus. So the next thing is the customers segment. So our customer segment is mechanical engineering department, electromechanical engineering department, teachers and students. And our customer relationship. Our customer relationship will be, to be well known on the campus. We do long-term relations with our customers. A presentation for our teachers. We prepare a presentation for the teachers, so as to make a clear information for the departments. And when new students come to the campus, they can be introduced to the 3D printers through a course outline. And also we create a strong contact to students by creating this discussion with them. And the next thing is the customer cost structure and income source. This can be presented by
Thank you. Okay, I'm shortly going to talk about the cost structure. So we calculated the cost also according to the market research. So we calculated how many prints there are going to be in a month. Of course, this is an estimation. So we had 60 prints, and every print takes 5 hours. So firstly, I'd like to explain how the cost for the customer is made. So if you print, you have fixed cost of 40 beer, and for every hour, no, excuse me, you have a fixed cost of 30 beer, and for every hour there's 40 beer added. It doesn't matter if you print low quality, standard quality, or high quality, because for a high quality part, the printer has about 4 times the time for the same part, so the price also will be a lot higher. And so to calculate this price, we first estimated the cost of filament, manpower, and electricity. So the filament, we actually made the test prints. We printed these on these printers, calculated the time, how much time it took, and how much filament it used. And so we came in 1 month to a price of 11,792 beer. And of course, this is manpower, electricity, and filament is not the only cost we have, because we do have 3 machines in the shop. So this is in total 120,000 of Ethiopian beer of existing inventory that we have. So if we calculate that down to a monthly payment, because we can use this printer over 8 years, that's the normal lifespan you can use this, you get the monthly payment of a bit less than 300 beer, which also has to be added there. And then also, important thing is that if you want to use the printers for these 8 years, you actually have to change the nozzles a lot. So they have about 800 hours of lifetime. After that, you have to change them. So this is also a payment of approximately 180 beer that you have to pay every month for these nozzles. And this comes to a total cost of 12,259 Ethiopian beer per month with these estimated numbers. And then we can go to the other side, to the income sources. So if you calculate this with these 60 prints, 5 hours per print, that's an average that we heard from the market research, we get 13,800 Ethiopian beer with these prices that I just told you. So an average price per part will be 230 Ethiopian beer. So you can see it's cheaper than what we heard from the market research. We did this to make it possible for more people to print the parts. And also here you can see we have a profit that's above 10%. That's made so it's not too high. A lot of people will come and print, but still we do make profit and can grow. So just short, I would like to talk about the integration of the values. I don't know if you know, but at the beginning we wrote down some values that we want at our shop we want to present. So our first value was to make it famous on the campus. So for this we made banners, flyers, and also planned oral announcements. You actually can see one flyer on the side. These we would give to the people from the 2 departments we just talked about. And the banner is of course a big one, which everybody can see. Then also we want to make it easy and comfortable to print. That's also a thing we focused a lot of to it. So we have 3 different processes to order the part. So the first one, and also the easiest one, is to do it over the website. I think there will be a presentation of it, so I won't talk about it too much. Then you also can order over Telegram. There's a Telegram supergroup on which you can order if there are people that might like it more to order over Telegram. And if, for example, the internet doesn't work or you want to do it in person, you can also come to the shop and give it directly to the person and give all the information. So there are these 3 different types of ways to order a print. Also, we wanted the potential to grow, so we have the 10% of profit, not too high, not too low, that's it, that. We wanted the precision. As I told you, we can choose the precision, how precise we want the part. And we wanted to make the manufacturing industry better in Ethiopia. So with our shop, some projects can be realized faster because the shop is right here, and also cheaper because the parts are really cheap to produce. And now I would like to give the mic for the programming part.
Thank you, Valentin. Coming to the programming part consists of two main tasks. Starting with the Raspberry Pi, I need to clarify what exactly is the Raspberry Pi and what is the use of the Raspberry Pi in this case. Maybe you've already seen the 3D printer, like this little black case. Here on both printers is the Raspberry Pi. With the Raspberry Pi, we enable the possibility to operate the 3D printer over the network with a computer. So you don't have to go to the 3D printer with the SD card and put it in each time. You can do that over the computer. Now, what did we do with the Raspberry Pi? First thing was to configure the LEDs and try to set them up. The LEDs in this case now work fine and show multiple things, like if the 3D printer is starting up, or as it is right now, the progress of the 3D printing is shown as a progress bar, like every LED goes green if it is finished. Afterwards, we built the whole Raspberry together. This worked well after we resolved some problems with a broken SD card or the camera, but now everything is working fine. Now the key point here is the Octoprint Web Interface, which enables us to operate the 3D printer over the network. This was given on an image. We didn't have to do too much for it, and also I'm skipping the demonstration of the web interface here because I know the other group is showing it, and it is basically the same. The fourth and last task for the Raspberry was basically installing plugins for the LEDs, and also we tried using a plugin to work with unsliced files, but this didn't work out in the end. Coming to the website, instead of just telling you a few things about it, I think I'm going to demonstrate it. Wo überziehen? Aha. Okay, thank you. Okay, for the website, we decided to use a one-page. So that means like all the data is found on just one page without reloading the whole stuff. And we kept it quite basic. Like with the website right now, you can order your 3D printing part. There are also some tutorials and some contact information where you find the information on in which building the 3D printer shop is, and contact data like the email or the phone address. Yes. The first thing what you can see here is the order form with which you can then order your 3D print. Now, I'm just going to demonstrate that real quick. My name is Timo. Just fill in some fake data. So the first three was to say who you are and with which email address the shop can contact you. What follows is the option to choose your quality. Like I'm choosing standard, the color of the print, and also how many 3D print parts you want. I'm taking 2. And also type in your 3D dimensions. Now, when you click submit, unfortunately, it is not the best solution. It's a bit unsafe, so it tells you like it's not safe to do that. But if you do it anyway, it opens your email application, and what now happened is all the form data that I typed in went into your email, to a new email, which is addressed to our shop email address. The h3dp@gmail.com is our shop email. And for the 3D printing, you also need to attach your G-code file. Just going to close that. So basically, you order your 3D print by sending this mail. Besides the order, we got the tutorial section where you can see we got 2 different videos which explains Tinkercar and SolidWorks. I'm not going too much into that because I think there will follow some input to it. Also, we linked the tools which we explained in this tutorial with the URL. Also, what I think is quite important, we also have a 3D model as an example here. So if someone is new to the whole thing, he can download the 3D model and maybe change it a little and then print it out with an order. And yeah, the last thing is, as I said, the contact data. Yes. I think that was my part. Yes, giving the microphone to Moibon.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Depending on customers' need and available softwares, we choose 3 softwares. And the first one is Tinkercar software. Tinkercar software is the easiest and the simplest and compatible with 3D printer software. And the second one is SolidWorks software. SolidWorks software has wide domain of range for design, and it is not easier as that of Tinkercar. That's why we choose on the second, and it is compatible with that of 3D printing. And as a third, we choose AutoCAD software. AutoCAD software is easier, compatible, but it hasn't wide domain of range. We can design a lot of complex design on AutoCAD. For that purpose, we made a video for Tinkercar software and our SolidWorks software for our customers. If they need, they can choose from both SolidWorks and Tinkercar or AutoCAD software, depending on their need and their design availability. And we made some video on that. Let's show you. I think it's working. So, yes, this is the overview of Tinkercar software. As you can see, we made the video in Amharic voice and English subtitles for the customers to understand easily and comfortability. And we designed Hawassa 3D printing. Hawassa 3D printing, it is our logo for our group members and our group name. And as you can see, this design wheel. And we can we can adjust and design a lot of designs, and we can save as STL file. And now this is other software, SolidWorks software, and the same design is going to be designed. And we made a video in Amharic and English subtitles for the customers, and they can choose from both softwares which is comfortable and good for them, and they can design on it. And as you can see, the design is almost the same as we have designed on SolidWorks and the Tinkercar, and we print it after slicing the design part. And our customer can choose for these softwares, and also they can check on our website. We have some videos about the softwares. And thank you. For the next case, Yuli can send them.
Can you maybe take out the parts?
Okay.
So yeah, thank you everybody for showing about our task. My task was the organization, so we did as a team a reflection about it. Important was for us that we worked as a team, but of course every single one of us. And then I think it was really interesting that how both teams for some tasks work together to be faster in this very rough schedule of the 1 week. So I would like to have this mindset for the future as well, being challenged with each other, but working together. Here, how we managed to have an overview about all the tasks, the assembly, the construction program, and so on. We made a plan for all the tasks, when we want to do what during the week. And then we gave it a number, and every participant has a number. So then we started to group together, and we were also able to change the plan during the week. So that had the advantage that some of the participants did not only want to join one task, could also join another task in the week as well. So now, for the future, we hope that some of our ideas will be staying there, and also maybe some ideas of the other team. And I would like to thank to everybody from Team A. It was really a pleasure working with you, and have a wonderful day.
So we have the possibility to take some questions, especially also from the jury. So I hand over the microphone to you first.
I have no question.
You don't? Okay. Okay, I am very happy to be here and to actually hear about your ideas. Very interesting. So I come from more of the business side than the technical side, so more of my questions are going to be related to the business side of it. I have seen, so I know you're basically selling this product based on, other people's requests based on their design, but I've also seen other potential you can't hear me? Okay. Okay, I'll try. My voice is a bit low. Can you hear me? Is it okay? Is it good? Huh? Yeah, much better. Okay. Much better. Much better. So my question is... All right, much better. Now everyone can hear me? Okay, perfect. So, so since I come from the business side, my question is going to be more based on, the business side. So, yes, definitely 3D printing is definitely going to change the manufacturing industry for sure. So my question is on your business model, basically. So you're basically selling this product based on customers' requests of, their own design. I bring my design and you print it and you give it to me based on my request, right? But I've also seen some other potential business models that you can use. For example, your online shopping, people can order online. So is there any way that you're making money out of that? Or is it just selling this product, basically, one? And two, so we're basically going to do this business locally here. So obviously the 3D printers are being imported from other countries, right? So as we all know, there's a big foreign currency challenge in Ethiopia. So how do you plan to, work on that? Or I don't know. I mean, I know this is a very early stage, just an idea stage, but since this is an incubation center and we're planning to turn this into a business, we also have to consider some of the challenges that we're going to face. So how do you manage, or do you have any plan for, the foreign currency challenge, basically? So these are my two questions.
Yeah, to your first question, the priority of the business model is really that the customer who has a file can realize it and printing a model here at the campus, picking it up what he had in his mind. This can be a very different purpose on a university, so that would be the priority. And as well, if he does not have a file yet, there are the tutorials, so he can actually learn on our website how to 3D model, and then with this beginning of the process going to his print. And then there is the third option we want to involve a little bit more. There is the existing 3D files on the website. We have now only one, for example, but of course there are many websites who already have a lot of 3D files you can download. And we want to include that a little bit better in the website as well. Is that answering your question? Well?
Just one more question. So basically, as a startup, or being, when incubation is a bit different, or being a startup is a bit different, because we're bringing innovative ideas and trying to tap into, a new market, basically. So what is sort of, and of course, the scale level is not just, as a small business or SME, but something that can actually disrupt the manufacturing industry. So what exactly is the scale plan? I mean, still, I know you guys, like, this is just, an idea yet, but when you had a conversation internally, what was sort of your scale plan, like, to just make it disruptive in Ethiopia or across Africa, basically? So if just have any.
Well, yeah, we talked about that, how the growth could look like. And for us, it was really tough in 1 week, like making plans for like a year or 3 years or something. So we would really pay attention on the price of the product, that we have a small profit, that actually there is a potential to grow. And I think the next step, if all the 3 printers are always busy, there would be maybe a step to buy another printer or employees and stuff. But for this 1 week, we weren't able to have a specific plan about that. So we really focused on that the potential is there to grow.
I'm good from my side.
Okay. Okay, thank you. My name is Brooke from the Department of Electromechanical Engineering. So myself, like Betty, I will focus on some technical stuffs of the technology. It may be related with the directly with the business model, because it affects on your business productivity and profit. So first, I can understand, I see there is only possibility of one 3D printer here, I have seen here. So you are going to plan to start with that, a single 3D printer. So it's obvious and it's known that the potentiality of the market is very high there is demands of 3D print products. So how you manage with that one? Because it takes a longer time to print a larger volume of closure or a product or a model. So how you try to manage that one? Because it's directly affect your profitability and your business model. And the other thing, from your software integration for the customers, you have let the customer to feel a size of a product model, just like XYZ volume. So that somehow, as I can see here, there are some engraved letter models here. So it's directly have relationship with a volume and the cost effectiveness of the product and the material also. So, but just giving a volume of XYZ, how can manage that the total price allocation and how it will be affordable for the customers in that sense. So, this is my questions.
So actually the price is not calculated with these numbers that they type in. So you have to type in on the website like the height, width and everything. That's more to know if the part can be printed on the printer, because the printer of course has a limit which he can't print bigger. But as I said, the price is calculated on the hours. So we calculated exactly or measured exactly how much filament is used per hour when you print, and calculate this to the hour and then put the profit over it with all the other factors. So the price is not calculated with this with the width and everything, because of course here it would not be right. Yes, that's for the question of the price. Yes.
The other question is, just Betty mentioned that there is a very critical situation in the foreign currency, in the Ethiopian situation. So the basic ingredient or raw material is the filament. So importing the filament and having that one in much stock it may be difficult as leading the market throughout the time. So how try to manage that one? Just how to replace with the existing recycling something, or how to manage that one? Is there any possible options you have imagined?
We do have written a process for this. There's a file where you can read everything. So we do have a shop that's in Addis, and you can buy. It's you buy it per kilogram. It's the PLA, the same as we use here, and it's, I think if I'm having it right in my head, it's 3,000 per kilogram and 300 for the shipping here. So we have an exact process, exact document which is written also with the contact numbers, the phone number, you can call them, so that shouldn't be a problem. Yes. Should I give it?
I just have actually one question. I have seen you work throughout the week, and you have the other team, by the way, as well. You worked very good together. Would you, now looking back to the week, do something differently, or would you make the hackathon week the same way as you built it processually?
Well, I think that's a question for everybody. From my side, because I was the coordinator, we didn't plan enough time for the assembly, for example. But I think we had a really good way to work together, and it was really about getting the strength of each of one of us out of it. And there were many different strengths, so I would do it more or less the same.
Well, it's the same for me. It's every time somebody didn't have a lot of things to work because one part was done faster. He went to the other group, asked, "What can I do? Can I help?" And so we could fill the gaps that that's built. So I think that's I can say the same. More or less, I would do it the same. With you?
Yeah, we think that we have also have the same idea with them, so we work together. You know, the first thing we finished first is assembling the 3D printer. So when they finished the 3D printer, they went to the business modeling thing with us. So just we help each other. So that's a good experience. So.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Basically, teamwork is important thing, and as he said, we started with assembling on the Monday. It takes a lot of time to assemble X and Y axis, but after reorganizing and making coordination with teams, after discussing, at morning of Tuesday morning, we finished assembling sooner, and discussing and coordination, and also teamwork was important thing, and we all learned a lot. That was good.
I think the only thing I would change is maybe the group size. Like, I thought for some tasks we were too many and not everybody had something to do, and yeah, maybe like a bit less people.
Thank you very much.
There are questions from the audience, maybe also?
Thank you very much. So I really appreciate what you do in this very short time. So I really appreciate the technical stuff that you do. My question is on the business model, specifically on the one component, the customer segmentation. From the perspective what you are in, for example, the business incubation perspective, you are on that corner of business incubator. Now you are trying to model your customer from the perspective of the wider university community, the staff, the teacher, the students. Okay. So on your customer segmentation, I see a positive intention of making this material available for the wider university community as a customer. Yes. I want to challenge you on focusing on the better customer with the agenda of business incubation center. As you know, incubators or business incubators try to accumulate some resource, material, human resource, and make that available for incubators and create some successful business out of that process. So I think we are here in the incubator and materials are there for incubators. So what if you think the incubators themselves as your customer, then they can utilize these printers for creation of their own business. Later, they graduate out with some experience and some of the capitals.
So your concern also is, as I understood, that the knowledge and the whole customer segments here is going to be gone when the studies will leave, right? I think you also mentioned it into the business model. Our idea is that we provide some presentation for every new year, every new course for the teacher about the 3D printing. In this way, every year, new students will learn about it, and the knowledge will never be gone, right? Yeah, that's basically it.
Actually, your question is, how to sustain, how to make a profit. I mean, yeah, about you are focusing on the market potential, yeah. So we put a milestone plan for just maximizing our 3D printers, the number of our 3D printers by making more profit on the manufacturing department. Then we would make our just marketing high.
My point. Shall we use this resource as a learning tool for the wider community, or as a tool for startup creation? In that case, if we make it open for the wider university community, we do have limited resource.
Yep.
We serve as a learning tool for everyone to come up, play something, and prototype the concept. It is nice as a learning tool for everybody. But as a business incubator, so we have some startups that can use a certain resource, up to a certain point. Then they make the pilot product, they sell that product, they get a brand in the market, then they will rebound. That is the incubation model. So are you building this resource for that incubation process? I'm thinking it's better to have incubators as a customer notice, so that they use this product for their business process. We do to benefit out of that. We create startups that have selling this brand, that have a product at hand to sell to their customer.
Customization purpose. So we actually more even just find some just customers that want to print some like the braceleting for the fellowship or for the program that are going to held in the coming week. Yeah. So we are also going to use it for customization purpose, also for just printing a prototype for the students. So when they want to print some prototype, they actually has to pay some price for the filament. So is there anything?
I think the actual purpose of this exercise is to develop a shop. I think the idea of Hawassa is, I think, different. That is the idea of your competitions are creating a business, a shop business, and you need to find customers. But the idea of Hawassa is different, because how we can strengthen, I think, the incubation center use of these resources for others type of purposes to help to support the increase and the students who have been entered in the incubation center. Obviously, that is a purpose later. We'll think about that one. But your competitions are generally to create a shop, yeah? So your idea is good. I have one question on that. And what is unique characteristics you have if you have been as a shop? You need to compete. Let's say we have another 3D shops in other places. What's unique on your side? What's your strengths to show that? And how you can also maybe one of the way you say that you will have promote, advertise your business on in words or in some form of show us that one. Yes, how we are advertise.
So we can advertise our just shop through different channels like the Telegrams or Facebook page, and also through a website. And also we can make a promotion by using the loudspeakers throughout the community or throughout the campus. And at the No, it's not.
Now we are customers.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We have some unique features for our 3D printer. There is some 3D printers in Addis Ababa, but not in Hawassa. We can access here in Hawassa. This is the first thing. And some 3D printers working in Ethiopia is not customization. The design is almost there. Constant design, they print the constant and available design. There is no customization, but we can customize the customer's idea and the need. We can design the need and the idea of the customers, and we can print their need. That's what makes unique. And the other thing is we can advertise, as he said, on social medias and other website. They can reach us easily. We can use mobile banking and other things. We can send them everywhere, and that's why what makes us unique. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just checking the time. We have another group to present that will be the same product. So maybe if you have more questions, you can also ask it to the second group. That's my suggestion. Thank you very much again for your presentation and also for your work in the week. Then I would now ask the second group, please, to come to the floor. Okay, I hope everybody got a coffee and something to eat. So we will now give the floor to the second group.
May I have your attention? Ist gut, sind wir bereit? Dear guests, dear participants, dear staff, hello and welcome to our presentation from the Team B. The first thing I would like to say, congratulations to Team A for the outstanding presentation and the good work they've done during this week. Now I would like to start with our presentation. Here you can see our logo. This is the one we designed with a CAD program, and this is the one we sketched on the first day. So you can see there's a change in it. Also, the values we've decided on the first day, but I will talk to them later. So, first I would like to talk about the topics. First we talk about the values. Afterwards I will say a few things about the coordination from this week. Then two students will talk about the assembly from the 3D printer and the assembly from the enclosure. Afterwards we say something about the communication and the programming. And then we will show you the things from the market research and the business model. And at the end, I will come back to a reflection about the week, about the learnings we've had. So, now the values. We decided to make our 3D printer shop user-friendly, so that everyone can use it. Also, environment-friendly. So we don't want to waste material, and we don't want to waste time and resources. We've also decided to have a fair price-quality ratio and a strong quality from our printer. And the last one, I think it's very important to have a high learning effect from every student, from the Ethiopian students and also from the Swiss students. Now, about the coordination from this week, the general things. We didn't invest much time in the coordination because we thought we have to consider the learning effect, as I said it before. We've done a weekly plan, you can see it over there, and we make a few teams for every task, and they work on their task the whole week. We know if we didn't invest much time in the coordination, we have to be flexible because there will be issues and other stuff that didn't work. Yes, but we managed it and we were flexible and everyone could work on their task they would like to. We tried to follow the weekly plan as good as possible, but as I said, there were some issues and we had to change a few things. Very important is we tried to find the balance between the learning effect and the efficient work, because we want to go forward, we want to have an efficient work, and we want to have the learning effect, as I said it before in the values. We want to have a profit from this week. And the slogan from the coordinator, from me, was motivated employers, they work more if they're interested in the tasks they do, and this will give the result from efficient work. Yeah, as I told you, there were some issues in the coordination, because the assembly from the 3D printer and the enclosure was much more popular than things like the business model or the communication. So we had to be flexible and we made smaller groups for the communication and the business model. Also, the communication between the group members was hard sometimes, but we learned it during the week, and in the end of the week it worked out really well. And for me personally, it was hard to work and coordinate together, but also this was quite good at the end of the week. Now Michael and Abraham will continue with the assembly from the 3D printer and the assembly from the enclosure.
Okay, thank you so much, Pascal. And before that, I would like to say something about the 3D printer, because you came from different field of study and departments. So this is called 3D printer, and this is the 3D printer. We assembled it on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And this one from me to the left and it takes around 3 days because of time issues, and I'm going to present you how was the progress. And these are the 2 manuals which are made by the company, which is Prussia company. By the way, the creator of this 3D printer is Joseph Prussia, and the name is taken from that, I think so. And it is Prussia i3 MK3S, it's modded, and this one is assembly manual, and we follow the instruction which is written here. And this one is the calibration manual and how it works and how you're going to print with it. So these are the 2 manuals. So the first thing what we have done for assembling this printer is just observing the enclosure or the carton of this 3D printer, because there may be damage when loading and unloading at the ship or somewhere else. So if there is a damage on this box, there may be damage on its components. So first we just look at the external enclosure, and next check the whole parts, whether they are available or missing. The whole parts were available and the enclosure was nice, so we just dismantle the parts, and we start by mounting the first. Let me show you. This we call it, this is the mainframe, and this one is the extrusion or the extrusion frame, which is aluminum profile. And we start with assembling this one and this one by mounting together with nut M3 nut. And next, by the way, they have their own orientation, they have their own step. And the instruction says the first thing which must be assembled is the y-axis. Those axes are, this one is y-axis, this one is the x-axis, and this one is the z-axis. So we started with assembling the y-axis, and then we finished the y-axis here by assembling those y-axis motor, y-axis belt, and the 2 rods. It may be difficult to see. There are 2 rods here for moving this plate. And the next we just proceed to the x-axis frame. This is the x-axis frame, and we mount those motors. These are the x-axis motor, and this is the belt which is used for transporting the extruder toward left and right. The y-axis used for to the front and to the bottom or to the back of the 3D printer. And we finish this the x-axis because it's not difficult to assemble. It is easy relative to others. And we just proceed to the extruder part, which is a bit complex to assemble. So this is the extruder part. As you can see, it has its own motor and it has internal structure. You can't see it because it's enclosed. And there are different sensors which are mounted together. There are fans for cooling the nozzle and for hot end. There are 2 fans which are used for cooling the nozzle, and the hot one which is inside for melting the filament. This one is the filament part. And we finished the extruder part, and next before we proceed to another part, there was a mesh which is a wire which emanates from the motors and the extruder part. So we just manage those wires, and we proceed to assemble the next, which is the power supply and the LCD. And finally, we just connect them with the motherboard, which is provided here. And finally, we finish by mounting those spools and such alike. So this is the assembling process, looks like this. And the next step is it has its own weather setting, because as you know, every machines have their own calibration. Just like that, this printer has its own calibration. So by using the smaller manual, we just start by going the setting, weather setting, and next we just proceed to the self-test, which is testing its hardware. That means whether the fan is working or not, the 2 fans, and the orientation and the geometry of those plates. And it has an automatic system, and it just calibrates by its own. And if there was no just scratching this nozzle with this one, but we just made it good. I think there is no scratching, and the calibration was good, and no need to calibrate by ourselves. So it was calibrated. And the calibration, the next calibration is the level. There is a sensor which is called PINDA sensor here, which is used for level check, whether the plate is leveled or not. It's checked by the PINDA sensor, which is located on this side. So after this, we just complete the calibration, everything. We just face different problem at the time of assembling, while assembling and after finishing the assembly. While assembling, there are so many nuts which are very small, and we can't hold it, and we can't just push into the engroove or the 3D printed part. That was difficult to us to just push into the engraved part, the 3D printer, and there was losing of nuts, and we have reversed this plate, we call it Y carriage here, because of just someone was reversed the carriage, and we just know that there are those nuts are not fitting. So when we diagnosed the machine, we got that it was reversed, and we just rearranged, and it works, start to work. And after finishing, we found that there was a reverser terminal for the air sensor, and when you put the filament, it doesn't work. And we tried to figure out that problem, and we get that in the motherboard, which is located here, the terminal for the air sensor or infrared ray sensor was reversed. So, and we just arranged it again, and it started to work. It was good, and we have learned so many things. We have to check 3 times or 4 times because since they are dedicated machine. So lesson learned from the whole week is the first thing we have just a knowledge and a practical session how to assemble this 3D printer, and this is the basic one, and how to calibrate the 3D printer, because I didn't know about the calibration of the 3D printer. And the second one, how to cooperate and communicate. Me and my friends were working together, and the one bring the nut, and the second one prepare the other parts for the next assembly and such like. So I just cooperate and work together, and we have enhanced our communication. And the third one is we have learned that how to identify the problems and how to fix them. Those steps for identifying a problem and how to fix them. And this is all about 3D printer assembly. And the next one, my friend Michael will continue from this point to about the enclosure part. Please.
Thank you, Abrish.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can see Abrish and his team is the expert for this 3D printer, and he knows really well how it's working, everything, and yeah,
thank you.
We could work well together, I think.
Yes.
So I want to continue with the enclosure. We started assembling the 3D printer and also with the enclosure together, and also there we had some problems, but not big ones. We learned a lot about, and I think for us, our philosophy in our team was quality before quantity, and of course to be fast is good, but to learn about it's much better, and I think this was the lesson which was the most important one. You can see the first point was the glass doesn't fit so right. We mean this one here, and I think to this one here on the side. That's why we had to use also wood here, but yeah, it looks great, I think. The second one, there is no theft detector, but that's a reason we can close the door and also lock, I think, and that's why we decided not to install this detector. And the third issue we had, it's the fan was the right direction. It turned the right direction, but we had to install it on the other side, and yeah, but we could also fix this one. So I think the next group, communication. Yeah, then it's good. Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck. Thank you. So, for the communication, it was very important for us to identify the person who are involved and who will interact for this project using the 3D printers and the material that will be used. So we wrote some instruction for the creation of the website. We made the design and we wrote some text so that the customer, that can be the students of Hawassa campus, have some examples of what they can print with the 3D printers, depending on their study and on their department. So we have implement dialog portal on the website. There we'll allow the customers to go inside, to fill up a contact form, so the coordinator will be able to print the design that he has. And some links in the instruction for better use. So this is only in a purpose of creating some object models. We have put some tutorials link about it for the customer. The issues during this week was, for example, the network access. Sometimes we had to exchange some documents or to use tools that was online. So when we had internet issues, we wasn't able to access to it. So that slowed us in our task, but we have done it. And sometimes we didn't have enough information about how the tutorial should look. This is because of it, we've chosen to take tutorials that have been made on YouTube, select some codes and integrate them on our website, and we have made one ourselves. Next, we will show you the process diagram of how it works in our 2D shop.
Okay. I will show you the overview of how our website will function. I mean, it will have three connections between the customer, the operator, and the designer. It do have it do gives many options for the user. The first one is the customer use the website and he can contact with the coordinator and he can order what he wants to print. Then the coordinator, in the coordination, he gives the customer many choices. If he have the 3D model, I mean, if he have the 3D model of the printing material, or if he don't have, and it goes both ways. If he have the 3D model, it just to go to the operator and the operator will print his 3D model. And if he do not have the 3D model, he have to connect with the designer. The designer will do the 3D model for him, and after that he go through the process to the card, and after that he can print his part and he get his finished part. It is in this part we have included our tutorials about how the user can, if he wants to do the design on his own, he can use many tutorials we have offered him on the website. There are many links on the website for the user if you want to design him by himself. We also offered many kind of tutorials. If he's a complete beginner, or if he have some technical skills, he can use CAD, or if he's a complete beginner, he can use Tinkercar, and there are many options on the website. This is the part, and the other thing is, as a communication part, we also focused on the promotion thing. Our target group is the students. The students are most of them is the campus students. So we wanted to do the promotion in many ways. There are many ways to do the promotion on the campus. Some of that are through the social media like Facebook or Telegram or many other social medias, and the other thing is the flyers or the flyer papers are. We can do the flyer papers. We can do the promotion through flyer papers. Our intention is to do it. We can do it in 2 ways or more than that. We can put the flyer papers like this. We have designed many flyer papers, and this is one of them. we can put these flare papers at libraries, at cafeterias, or where many students can have access to it. Then the students can just see the flyers everywhere, and they can contact us through the email on the flyers. And the other thing is also we can hand them, or we can give the students the flyer hand by hand on the events. There are many events in our school, so we can give them the papers at the events. This is all, and we also have the many other awesome 3D. 3D for our shop. We have also other flyers. I just chose this one because I've designed it. This is all. Thank you.
Okay, now we are in the programming section. In this week we were dealing with these components which are found, or you can see by the image, right? So the image which is found in the middle is the Raspberry Pi board, and at the upper there is a fan, there is an LED strip, and there is a camera which is a Logitech, and at last there is an Octoprint. So let us see something about each part. The Raspberry Pi is a single board computer which is we used mainly for controlling the 3D print via the Octoprint, and to control those three components, which are the LED strip, the fan, and the camera. And you know about the fan, which is basically used for cooling the Raspberry Pi. It works whole time whenever the Raspberry Pi is working, and the LED strip is giving a light when the 3D printer is in a situation which is in a dark situation. At last we have got the camera, so it's used for seeing what the 3D printer is working. And Octoprint is the open source 3D printer control application which provides a web interface for our printer. So the main question is how to integrate these things together and work on some tasks, right? So we integrated, we used the steps. First we made, there is an SD card which is inserted in the Raspberry Pi, which is used for storing purpose, and we just erase the files which are found in the SD card and upload an image file on it by using a Raspberry Pi imager. After that, we start to code on the Raspberry Pi and change the username and the password, and we have got our own address of the Raspberry Pi, and now we can connect with the Octoprint via Ethernet and network. You have two choices to connect or to communicate the Raspberry Pi with the Octoprint, either by network or LAN, or by Ethernet using a cable, a broadband cable. So simply after identifying the IP address of the Raspberry Pi, we simply connect by using the application Octoprint in our any types of browser. We simply enter the IP address so that we can access the Raspberry Pi as well as the printer. So everything can be controlled by using that app, which is the Octoprint app. We can control the lights, the LED strips, we can control the logic cameras, right? We can see what the camera is recording or seeing, and other things are done by the Octoprint. So my friend Daniel will explain you the practical things and about the website. So thank you.
So I'm going to walk you through about the process of how you can use the website, and the easiest thing is just to order a part and then we will print the part. So first we need to have the right network. I hope it's working now. Always when you want to show something, it doesn't work. Yeah. So in 1 second we should be possible to. Yes. Yes, now. So, we can go to this link. This is our link for the internet site, and then you will get to this page. Here we have a little info center, or you can have some ideas what to use the 3D printer for example, the mechanical students, and all types of things. So just to get an idea of what a 3D printer is and how you can use it. Then we have the information about the prices and also some tutorial links for people that don't know how to use like Tinkercar or converting some files into the STL file which is necessary to print. We also have put a little tutorial about the website itself, how you can use the website. And this is also a link on here that you can just click, and then you will get to a video which shows you how everything works. So now we can order a part. We can put in the name. For example, this email address, which is now mine. Now you have the option to either you already have an STL file, or you maybe have an idea and you need somebody to help you. So you could click, I don't have a STL file and I need help designing one. But we will now order a part, so we can choose, I have an STL file, select the quantity, we want 1, standard quality, and now you can upload a file, just 1 file, and then you can click order one. And then, if the internet is working, maybe we have to try this again. Now it should work. No? So, now it's not working. Before it was working, so now you should get a file. Now we get on our Gmail, we get an email with the file and the necessary information, like the quantity and also the STL file. The customer also gets an email with the same information, so he can ensure that he got the email. Now the operator can download the file and prepare it for the 3D printer. So he needs to take the STL file and convert it into a G code. And if he has the G code, he can go to the Octoprint. This is the Octoprint, so now we are on the Raspberry Pi here. And then he can upload the G code. I already did this here. And then he can start printing. And now you can see the LEDs are changing. You need to say start. And now we will see that it's heating up. You can also see on the LEDs if you look there. And in the next few minutes, it's starting the print, heating up, and then you will see it will start doing everything automatic. And that's just how to use everything for the user and for the operator. So that was it from my part. And now we will hear something about the market research. Yes.
Okay, first of all, on behalf of Team B, I would like to welcome our honorable chief guests. Today I'm going to present for you about market research, what we have did on our market research. Before presenting for you about market research, let me tell you what market research can do. Market research is the way we get information about our the markets around us or about our customer. So it is also a long and hard, difficult way to get information from our customer. Since we have a short period of time, as you see our program, we have market research every day because it is a way we can get a valuable information from our customer or our target group. First of all, we have done an interview in the campus. The way we did a market research is a questionnaire form. So we decided by our team what kinds of question we have to ask our target group, and we did some interview in the campus. Then we analyzed the data to formulate our business group. We have collected the data from our target group, and we analyze them and to form our business project. That we filtered our target group for the project. While doing this market research, there are some issues we face. For example, the students don't know what a 3D printer is. Almost half of the engineering department students don't know what the 3D printer is. This makes our market research so slow because since they don't know, we have to explain them or we have to show the printed parts, videos, photos for them, and then we will ask them what they will do or according to our questionnaire. Almost also all of the students don't have any experiences with a 3D printer. Also, this is one factor that slows us in market research. Also, many students didn't want to fill out the question form. We don't know the reason. Maybe they are scared of the research or something like that. In our conclusion, we have identified our target group and the price list we have to use. Our target group must be engineering students since they can do many things by using 3D printer. For example, mechanical engineering students want to model their design on AutoCAD or something like that and print the 3D model for themselves or for their project. Also, for example, architectural students want to design their structural design and print it with a 3D printer. So our target group must be engineering students. Also, we have identified the price list, or most of the students told us it must be as little as possible. So you will see on our business model. We have actual pain while doing these market researches. For example, not enough opportunity to get parts if they are broken. This is one of the pain since we put the price list depending on the broken part or something like that. Also, the parts are high costs. No experience with the 3D printer, as I told you, no existing sustainable circle economy of plastic and something like that. I think Andrew will present for you about business plan.
So, thanks a lot to Saini, who was talking about the market research, and now I'm going to talk about the business part. So, let's talk about business. For first, as you can see, the printer has started to print. The plate has enough heat, and now it started. As you can see also on the LED, so it's working. For first, I'm going to talk about our mission, vision, and value. As the value you already heard about, and our mission, it's very important. We have found out during our market research. We want to have the possibility that each student get out her own creativity. Excuse me. So they all have the possibility to create something on their own and give it us the file, and that is our mission. The vision is we want to create a sustainable 3D printer shop in Ethiopian for first. And our value, you heard already about it, and I'm going also a little bit through on the next slide, because we want to achieve all values which we have written down at the beginning of the week, and you will see how we will manage that. First, we thought about the options we should offer for all people which are using our 3D printer shop. So our target group, as you heard, is the engineering department for first. There are around 5 departments in it. And there are also some users without experience in AutoCAD, and we want also give them the possibility to use our shop or print something out. For example, if you are from urban engineering or civil engineering, they can print out some modelings from their own environment or architecture. And of course, if you have some experience, you can use it AutoCAD by your own and give it us the file, and we will print it out. So, as you can see, our first value, user-friendly, is achieved, in our opinion, because we give all the people the opportunity to use our shop. Also, a very important thing which we have thought about is to be more sustainable in our shop. How do we achieve that? For first, we want to use a melting machine, but this is not actually now. Maybe some important task, maybe more in the future. And we want to reuse all plastic bottle, which all you have in your hands maybe, and drink something out of it. And you can reuse all of the plastic bottle and make new filaments out of it. So it's the best reusing of all plastic bottle. But you need it all day, and you can reuse it as either. And also reusing useless parts and structures. Maybe some students don't use their parts anymore, and they can give it to us back, and we will melting it, and afterwards you can you will get a new filament out of it. And also very important thing is maintenance of the printer's shop, of course, and also the education of all team members, which I will talk about a little bit later about it. So our second value, environment friendly, is also achieved. Let's talk about the next value. Let's start with maintenance. We created a clear processing for it. So, for example, we have an exact schedule when you need to clean each part, or which you need to need new spare parts, or which you need to control which parts on which time. This is all which we have done for the maintenance, because it's also an important thing for the future to be more focused on maintenance stuff, so you can achieve a lower cost in the future. And also we take care for cleanliness and tidiness. As you can see, the printer is very sensitive. There are a lot of small pieces in it, and if there are dirty or something, it goes broken very fast, and you need all for this thing new spare parts, and it will cost a lot of money. And we want to look for another way for it. Exactly, and also we have a document about the parts which are sensitive, like I said before. So, and let's talk a little bit about our group structure. I need to change. Give me a second. For the first, the person which have the main responsibility about the group is the coordinator, of course. So I don't. And we have split it up in 3 different tasks. For the future, will have 2 designers, because, like I said, we want to give all the people the opportunity to print something out, and if they don't have an STL file, they can come to the designer, they will design something for them. And also maintenance and operation.
is in this way achieved because we have a clear structure of group and we have a clear schedule of the maintenance. So we can say, or we can proudly say, we can order, we can offer a strong quality for each body. We have also different price models because you can choose between low, medium, and high quality. So it depends a little bit on the price afterwards. So if you choose normal quality, and it costs around 7.5 beer per gram. We talk about in gram, not in hours, because if you print something out, you will always get the amount of gram in the software, and then you can better calculate, in our opinion, how much it will cost. Here's also some overview how much each department will cost. As you can see, the filament is very expensive. There are some options which you can get filament from outside, from foreign countries, but it's also, it's more difficult. But if you buy it here in Ethiopia, it will cost a lot of amount of money. And this is the reason why the filament is around this highness. Also, if you choose the way to designing the work parts, so if you are a customer who have no idea how to work with AutoCAD, you can choose this, and you will get an offer of it, and they says it costs around 30 beer per hour for each modeling, and so average time of hours is around 5 hours, so it will cost 150 beer for it. As you can see, the fair price is also achieved, but this is not fixed. In the future, we maybe need to change a little bit about pricing, but this is an ongoing process because we need to do reviews of each customers to find out how much they want to exactly pay for it. For next, in the future, as I said before, it's very important to focus in the first step on the marketing strategies. And we need to look, is the business working in the next 6 months, or should be in the next 2 months? In the next 6 months, is the business already working? But we need to focus after next week, or after this week, only on marketing. The people on the campus need to know where we are, what we're doing, and whatever. And we already created some flyers about it, the web shop, and get a new platform, Facebook, Instagram, whoever. And yeah, so we need to get used of everybody. In the next 2 or 3 years, as I said before, we want to buy a melting machine because for the environment, and also it gets the lower costs of each part. And next 5 years, it's actually expanding on the plan. We want to expanding ourselves not only on the campus Hawassa, so also on the Hawassa themselves and Ethiopian maybe afterwards. And in the future, as you can see, sky is the limit. So, the profit, I don't go too deep in it. We calculate for 1 year, the profit is around 26,000 beer. Because we have calculated around 20 filaments we need to use, but of course it's a good case. If you have a better case, most worst case, you have only 10 filaments, you have only 13,000 beer. It depends how much you can offer to the customer. It's also very important for expanding, of course. So, that's my part. Thank you very much, and I give my word to Pascal.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Now we'll come back to the learnings we had during this week. So I think we learned the communication between each team member is very important, as I said in the introduction. At the end of the week, it works very well, but at the beginning we had some issues with it. And I can say in every project there are highs and lows. And at the first step, the beginning, there's high, and afterwards, during the week, it goes down, and there's the low. And then you have to motivate the people and all the group members to get up high, and at the end of the project, now in a few minutes, is the high thing. So also another learning is that we thought about it with the values. Every person can learn from each other. So the Ethiopian students can learn from the Swiss students, and some Swiss students can learn special things from the Ethiopian students. It's also the most important value, as I said, the high learning effect. Now I will come to the reflection about the week we had together. As I said, it started very well. We worked out very good, and we could go forward very fast. But there come some issues, also with the assembly from the 3D printer, this one and the third one, who's already here. But the team worked well together to go forward and to solve these problems. And then yesterday, Stefan told us we had to work during the night, but we finished on time. We're ready now. And I have to say it's very good teamwork from everybody. And from my side, I can only say it was a great week. Thank you very much. Each team member has done his part, and all tasks are finished. Thank you very much. But before we come to the feedback, to the staff and the organization, we have a few pieces for you. Abraham will give it to you. We printed a few key holders, and also this one who will give it to you.
Yeah, it's a little gift first for the judges, and then of course for you too. It's a special gift because it's the key, and in it you can see gears, and we choose this one because this week was all about teamwork, and I think it represents really well the gears inside together, and yeah, it's like our team and also the team A worked. I think, yeah, it was a great week. Thank you.
You finished? Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. So again, we have the possibility for questions from the jury first.
All right, so can you hear me again, everyone? Perfect. I want to say I am impressed because, your presentation took longer and you've been, explaining each part, very specifically. So I was always worried about the next topic because when you started, it felt like you guys focused mainly on the, designing the product and not the business side. So I was a bit worried. So I was wondering, how did they get the time? So I can say I am pretty impressed with all the things that you've done, with the branding plan, the marketing plan, including, seeing the future and where you guys, can take this. So basically, being a startup, or innovators have this problem. We love building our product, but we always forget the business side, basically. And I was really honestly worried because you guys were, very much focused on the product when you started. So I'm glad to see, the entire presentation. One thing I didn't ask in the first presentation as well, and the same for you guys, is so you have an online platform where you kind of channel your customers. So there is, in Ethiopia, there's a payment gateway challenge, basically. So if you guys are planning to collect payment online, because when I order online, I also want to pay online. So what is sort of your plan for the payment gateway on the online marketing, one? And two, the same question that I asked for the first team is, so these things are mostly imported. This 3D printer is have to be imported. So there's a big foreign exchange, problem in the country. So, like, is there any plan of maybe bringing in foreign currency, like maybe targeting outside Ethiopia customers, so that you can, come up with a plan? Or what else have you thought about that? Like, what is, because, this is basically, if you don't have this, you don't have a business, basically. So you're going to be stuck. One of the things I do in my own business is basically, bringing solution for that. I am supplying for paper manufacturers. I make paper from Agriculture West, but my customers are also other paper product makers. So currently they have to wait 6 months to 1 year to import. So they're happy that I exist in Ethiopia, basically. So that's what I'm trying to solve. So for you guys, you have to import it. So you're going to have a very big challenge to sustain it as a business. So what is sort of your plan? So these are my 2 questions.
I'm trying to answer the first question. We noticed it's very hard in Ethiopia to pay online, because in Switzerland we know Twint, it's an application, and we can pay with the mobile phone. It's very easy. So I think it would be the next step to do a payment online. But I will afterwards, Daniel, I think you will add something to do it with the technical things, but it would be a step in the future to add it. And we didn't have enough time to do it in this week, because even if I said it's very hard, there's no application in Ethiopia. We found that the payment is made really easily, like in Switzerland.
So yeah, and from the technical side, it's if we don't know how and with what kind of system we want to pay, it's impossible to integrate it into a system. So I think, yeah, we should do more market research, or ask the customer with what apps or with what, if it's credit card, MasterCard, is this, how is it possible? And then I think the next step would be to integrate it into the website. So the second question?
Yeah, we already thought about that, and we prefer to focus on the next few weeks only on our target group we have found out. And this is, of course, the engineering department, and afterwards we will do a market research again for the whole campus, because you don't only need maybe technical parts for each groups of departments, but maybe they are also glad they have some personal stuff for it. And this is also the second step. And we also would prefer to focus a little bit more on sustainability. We want to buy this melting machine. If we have this, we could increase the cost, also not decrease, sorry, not increase, decreasing the costs of each part and each gram. And for the future is also very important, like you said, we want to focus on the whole market in Ethiopian, of the industry in Ethiopian. There are a lot of opportunity in our sites, and also the country of Ethiopian themselves, and afterwards the world. It doesn't matter, you can reach the goal whatever you want. So, but at the first thing, you need to focus on the smaller steps, and then go forward, and expanding how much you could, it's possible. Yeah.
So I had one more question. So since I am a very big fan of eco-friendly products, you mentioned recycling these plastics into a filament, but which is basically, I mean, I think it's a long-term plan. I'm assuming it's a long-term plan, but how do you plan to do that as well? Because, it's going to need another line of that. That's a different business as well. So, yeah, I mean, I know you had a very small time, but I would like to hear more about it. Like, if there's any plan you have for that, or...
The interesting thing is there already exist some companies that are producing this melting machine, especially for 3D printers. So, for example, in Germany, as I heard, there are some group of also students which they have started with a business and creating a melting machine for these cups. Yes, also for the the ops thing. I don't know the name. Whatever. Doesn't matter, but you understand me? That's most important. Good. And you don't actually need go into a new business way, because you can only buy this melting machine and using by yourself, and that's the only thing you need to do. And you get in touch with this company and how to use it and whatever it needs for it. Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I can see that both the first group and this current group have worked a lot in the team spirit, and all the presentation and the whole organization is very interesting. So I need to appreciate that one. Since you have take time and you go through in detail of both of the business aspect and technical aspects, for my question, for this brand of printer, what are the material type you use for the filament, and what is the nozzle diameter, and what is the maximum volume of the working model for this specific brand? And as a business aspect, I think all of you assume just using online systems based on the internet web. So what if there is any connection available? So how your market will sustain that situations? And how do you think about the delivery? Because online, anyone can order from anywhere. So how you manage that one, and how you think about the delivery of the products, you think? Thank you.
You can say the volume. I don't know. The volume of the printer is 210 to 210 and 250 millimeters. So that's the maximum, the biggest cube you could print. Yes.
Yeah. For the second question, you mentioned the filament, the material. It's at the moment it's PLA. It's the most common material for 3D printing at the moment. But it's possible to print a lot more of materials. We have also more filaments here, and it's an interesting question because the PET, it's also possible to print and we could do it also here, and that's why it's interesting also to melting the plastic, or for example the bottles are almost for free on the street or somewhere else, and then we could reduce the material we have to pay or to buy, and then we have the material to print, and that's also a solution for the environment, that we can use the plastic on the street, for example, and that's You have something to add?
Yes. Good. You mentioned the thing where if there's no internet connection. So I think you saw the flyer we've designed, and on the flyer there's also a mobile number and the email account from the coordinator. So if they want to print something and there's no internet access, they can contact directly with the coordinator, and they have to improvise the things like that. Also the delivery, as you see, we made a group out of 5 people who's responsible for the 3D printer, and if they want to deliver the part, they're from different classes or different departures eventually, and they can bring it to the classrooms from the campus. If we want to expand for the industry in Hawassa or even for the whole world, there's clear there has to be made a new process for the delivery and everything, but at the moment, if we're focusing only on the campus, I think the delivery can be made with the students and the corporation. They have to talk and to communicate to each other.
I think.
Thank you very much. You actually already answered my questions I asked the group before during your presentations, so well done there. I just have one technical question. You showed us the cost structures of the money you have to spend, and there you calculated everything, like for example salary, you calculated 1 beer per gram. How did you get to that number? What is at the back of it?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Good question. We started with estimated how much filament do we could order it during 1 year, and this was the around 20 filaments. Seems for us very possible in first way, and afterwards we started to think about. We have a whole document where it's all in it, but I don't have actually all information in my head at this moment. We have to think about how much would each group member to prefer to get as a salary, for example, 30 beer per hour, and we calculated it down per gram afterwards. And but we have also maintenance. We started to find out how much maintenance do we need during 1 year, how much it will cost, what are the estimated costs for only for maintenance stuffs, and then we also calculated it down for how much beer is it in gram. So it's always the same way which we have done for it. It doesn't matter which task you choose. You just need to know how much you need for 1 year, and afterwards you calculate it down and go smaller, and then you know how much you need for 1 gram. Yeah, is that okay? So afterwards I can also show you the calculation in detail. So maybe it's interesting. I don't know.
Thank you very much. Maybe some more questions from the audience.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. So your products, other designers, for example, 3D artists that use different softwares like Maya, Blender, they would want to 3D print their characters for the purpose of pre-visualization. So, for example, an artist like me would want to order a 3D print, right? So you only receive models in STL file, right? So what other file formats your platform supports? For example, there are different file formats like OBJ file, 3ds for different software. So can you give services of transforming one model with another? For example, if I give you a model with object file, can you change it into STL and print it for me?
Still have something to say, or Litchelen first, eh? Okay.